I have huge news for Nvidia graphics cards. Let's talk about it. Before that, this video is brought to you by Raycon. Raycon is an audio company on a mission to prove that you shouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg for high quality sound, and with their everyday earbuds, that's never been more true. Not only do they provide quality audio at great prices, but the everyday earbuds come with a list of great features such as IPX6 water resistance, 32 hours of battery life, 3 different sound profiles, an awareness mode, wireless charging, and vivid voice technology. These are the type of features people pay big money for on other brands, and they also make it great for using them on the go. Personally, I use my Raycon earbuds when I'm out walking, working on projects, or lifting weights to keep me focused all day. Plus, to sweeten the deal, right now Raycon is offering 2 years of product protection for just a few bucks, free domestic shipping, and an easy free return guarantee. So if you're interested in picking up a pair of great looking and feature-rich earbuds at a fraction the cost of competing brands, and you want to support the channel, please click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/graphicallychallenged to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. That's right, if you're in the market for a new RTX 40 series graphics card, you might want to pay attention to today's video because this one's going to be very exciting. I got a ton of information to go over, so let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and first start off by talking about the RTX 4060 Ti because, guys, this is an absolutely huge one, as if you've been paying attention and watching my videos, you'll know that I definitely have not been too impressed with the RTX 4060 Ti, as although $400 isn't necessarily a bad deal for a 4060 Ti, what is a bad deal is paying $400 for 8 gigabytes of video memory in 2023, as you're essentially right away gonna have to be dialing down some quality settings, which if you're spending $400+ just isn't a great feeling again in 2023, especially as more and more games are starting to blast beyond 10 and even 12 gigabytes of video memory. Well, I got some great news for you guys because it looks like, at least according to a leak that was posted over on Twitter by the user Mega GPU, who by the way has leaked a ton of stuff about Nvidia in the past, well, it's starting to look like the 4060 Ti could have a 16 gigabyte version. The only question is, will it be worth the money? Now, according to him, here's what he had to say about the RTX 4060 Ti. Quote, GeForce RTX 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte PG190 SKU 363 available in July. And this is actually an update to a previous tweet he put out where he said there'd be a 4060 Ti 8 gigabyte, a 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte, and then a 4060 8 gigabyte, which it looks like the RTX 4060 Ti 8 gigabyte will be coming first in May, and then it'll be followed up by the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte, and then the 4060 8 gigabyte, hopefully sometime around July. Now, if you're in the market for an RTX 4060 Ti, this is definitely great news for you, as getting double the amount of VRAM is going to allow this card to age much better, although it does look like, unfortunately, at least so far, the RTX 4060 will be limited to 8 gigabytes, which definitely isn't great news. However, to be honest with you guys, for the more entry-level GPUs, I do think it is a little bit more acceptable, as long as the price is right, to be having lower amounts of video memory, as, yeah, those cards probably can't really run most games at the absolute ultra settings all the time anyway, so I would actually be expecting to be reducing quality settings if you're buying an entry-level GPU, and again, that's really not too bad of a deal. However, with the RTX 4060 Ti, the question is, even though there is going to be a 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte allegedly, will it be worth it? And I think it comes down to the price. I think if it's $450 max, it could actually be worth it, but if it's $500+, then it's going to start to become a little bit more questionable. So hopefully it's $450 or less, but only time will tell. And speaking of time, I think it's time we move on to the next story. And guys, this is another big one if you're in the market for a new RTX 40 series GPU, as it looks like, at least according to an article over on videocards.com, Diablo 4 is going to be free with GeForce RTX 40 GPUs. Quote, Nvidia announces game bundle featuring one of the hottest titles of this year, Diablo 4. And if you want to read more information on what cards this applies to and how you can get that, I will have it linked in the description below. But I do think this is definitely a good sign that, yes, Nvidia is feeling the pressure that they're not selling as many cards as they want to, so it's going to start off first with maybe some rebates and stuff like this, where you're going to be getting some free games, and then as time goes on, you could actually expect to see some pretty massive price drops. And speaking of price drops, there's something absolutely crazy that's going on right now, and that's that the RTX 4080's GPU is actually going to be available in an RTX package for just $600 potentially. So that's absolutely crazy because the GPU being used in the RTX 4080, well, that's being sold in the 4080 for $1,200+ at times. So to be seeing this GPU in a package for $600 to maybe $700 max would definitely be very, very surprising. Now, I do want to let you guys know that the RTX 4080 GPU is the 8103 GPU specifically, and this is the same GPU that is allegedly going to be repurposed for use in the RTX 4070 on certain models. Now, does this mean you'll potentially be getting more performance on these RTX 4070 GPUs? That is unlikely. However, it has been the case in the past where there have been times, especially with, I believe it was the RTX 2060, where they used a higher end GPU and tried to cut it down, but there was still some extra performance to be had, especially when it came to professional type of workloads with that GPU that made it, a lot more powerful. So there is a potential that maybe the RTX 4070, if you pick one up and it has an 8103 RTX 4080 GPU inside of it, that you might get some more performance when it comes to professional applications. Now, for gaming, it's very, very unlikely to be any faster than a regular RTX 4070, but it does also go to show that the RTX 4080 definitely could be sold at a lower price. Now, that's not to say that the RTX 4080 would be making a lot of money at $600, but you know what? Hey, even the reject dies being repurposed for $600, I think they could actually still make some amount of money on those GPUs. Honestly, I think the RTX 4080 probably should be dropping down to around $850 or maybe even as low as $800, and I think Nvidia still could make a decent amount of money off those graphics cards, even selling it at a much, much lower price, as I mentioned. And again, it just goes to show if they're able to repurpose them and still make some amount of money selling them for $600, I think there's some room to be making money at $800, even if you include that it does have more video memory and possibly a higher end PCB with more components as well. So there you have it, guys. If you're in the market for an RTX 40 series GPU, there's a ton of stuff going on right now that could lead to you getting a much better deal. So keep your eyes out, wait for some price drops, because I do think there will be some future price drops coming again, much like we've seen on the RTX 4080, where many of those cards are available for well under their MSRP, especially in other regions, but I've even seen them as low as $100 under MSRP in the US, and there's a ton of deals going on, such as free game bundles to be had if you're going to be purchasing an RTX 40 series GPU. But if you're not interested in that, I do suggest taking a look at the used market, as there are a ton of really good deals going on there as well. But hey, that's just what I think. Do you think the RTX 4070 using the 4080 GPU will actually be faster, or do you think it'll be identical to any other RTX 4070? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and Nvidia release new GPUs. Also, if you want to see more, check out one of these related videos. You won't be disappointed.